While Twisted Metal Black was the flagship new release for the team behind Incognito's return to the franchise, Sony still had a large player base on the PlayStation 1. They thought the older siblings would upgrade to the PS2, leaving the younger siblings with the original console as a hand-me-down. Sony wanted to capitalize on that audience, and so the company ordered a second Twisted Metal game that would release in 2001, just a few months after Black, that was much more approachable to kids in tone. This means that when the PS1 finally went out of production, there were 5 Twisted Metal games on the console. I love this series, that is too many. While initial reports and speculation expected a demake of Black for the old hardware, Small Brawl would end up being very different. Twisted Metal Small Brawl looked a lot more in line with the market trends that Black shirked in favor of dark and twisted stories and characters. Small Brawl is a much brighter and cartoonier release in the series, trading rolling hunks of metal shooting fire and bullets for pint-sized RC cars. Instead of Calypso taunting drivers into killing each other for life-changing wishes that usually backfired, here he is a playground bully who muscles his way into forcing the local kids to partake in his own tournament.
If you ever want to see your thirsty widow Froggy again, you gotta play my game!
He still grants wishes though, they just happen to be at lower stakes. The new theme of remote-controlled cars means these small machines will be duking it out on playgrounds, kitchens, treehouses, movie theaters, and so on. Small Brawl is a controversial entry in the series for its wacky tone. I can understand that, especially after you compare it to the creepy tone of the game that was released mere months before. Kids fighting on the playground before they get called into dinner understandably doesn't create a ton of suspense. With this game, a lot of people either really like it or really consider it a bust. I actually genuinely thought it was a pretty clever riff on the formula, and I think there is more overlap between design choices between this and Black than initially the game was given credit for. Both of these games were developed in close proximity, similarly to how Twisted Metal 1 and Warhawk were made at the same time, and the teams kind of fed off each other while developing. In the level design, there is a certain amount of care here that I think was lacking in the 989 Twisted Metal games, especially in 4. Granted, there is only so much you can do on a PS1 in 2001, but extra little features ensure the tone is consistent across the game. Some of the dynamic elements from Black and Twisted Metal 2 are here. In the movie theater, if you blow up the popcorn machine with a rocket, it rolls down the center aisle and rams into the screen, revealing health and weapon pickups. In the kitchen, if you fire napalm at the plumber's butt crack, he blows the kitchen island down, revealing Darkseid as an unlockable character. Even something as small as changing the icons from rockets and gas cans to more childish icons builds out a consistent tone. Like, I can absolutely imagine a bunch of neighborhood kids racing around their different RC cars, shooting Roman candles and bottle rockets at each other's toys without thinking of repercussions. Minion, the ever-present boss fight, is missing, likely because a murder demon doesn't fit the tone Incog was going for. Replacing him is Piecemeal, a former contestant who takes pieces of his fallen rival's cars and attaches them to his own, making a rolling piece of abstract art. There is also Trapper, the mid-boss enemy you can unlock by beating the game as every character. His trademark is shooting monkeys at the player, like the ones from A Barrel of Monkeys. Given how hot and cold people are on this game, I wanted to bring in a second opinion. This person is playing through this series for the first time, and after seeing how our videos were going to overlap during this month, I was excited to hear what he had to say about Small Brawl. Was he like me and thinking it was good, or did he despise it? Let's hear from him in his own words. Welcome BlueTag to the channel.
Hey, so I've been playing the Twisted Metal series, working my way up to this one. And this one was interesting. I know a lot of people love this game, and I can definitely see why. I really love how the game has a Toy Story feel to it, and I can definitely see myself playing that as a kid. With that being said, I'm not a kid anymore. It's 2022 and it's my first time playing it, and wow, it is hard to play this one after playing Black. And don't blame me, I'm playing on the release order. I think it's only fair to compare it to the Twisted Metal games on the PS1 instead of Black. But still, I'm not the biggest fan. While the frame rate got way better, the render distance for the cars, at least for me, was extremely low, and I had some trouble adapting to the controls, mainly when changing between forwards and reverse while moving left and right. It feels a little bit weird when you're off the ground, and it just seems really close to Twisted Metal 2, but there's just something really off about it. The game isn't hard as expected, but the level hazards can definitely catch you off guard. Now trust me, I can definitely see why so many people love this game. But at the same time, I can also see why so many others believe this one to be one of the worst in the series. While I've been loving Twisted Metal, this one just wasn't for me. And honestly, considering it was made for kids, I guess it just wasn't really supposed to be.
Those were all pretty excellent points, and I would definitely agree that how much you like this game depends on how much you like the RC car tone. As much as I do appreciate Small Brawl, I do have a few issues with it. I think the weakest part of this game has to be the characters and the stories associated with each one, but that was bound to happen, I guess. There is only so far you can push the envelope when the main audience is kids.
Okay, Hammerhead, you really want to be a rock star, huh? Totally, dude. You asked for it, headbanger. Huh? Wait.
Mr. Grimm has always been a favorite character of mine, but here he is just a kid who is obsessed with Halloween. It's cute, but it's a far cry from the Eater of Souls from earlier games. Needles Kane, however, enters the contest to get an ice cream truck, and I'm sure we all know how that ends.
Man, you could have had anything you wanted, and all you could think of is a little ice cream? Let me down! Stop the car! Who's the blue lady?
Most of the stories end with kids asking Calypso to stop bullying them. Not my favorite game story-wise. I think I took to this game a bit more than BlueTag did because I personally like RC car games. I've played Revolt for the channel and talked about the lively community keeping it going, so going from classic Twisted Metal to this very nerfed image of what the series wasn't an immediate deal breaker for me. I mean, it certainly isn't my favorite, but I do think it's a fine, perfectly playable game. I think that if you do get past the theme, the underlying reuse of the Twisted Metal 2 engine that was tweaked to make it a little bit more arcadier makes it a pretty solid experience. But BlueTag also disagreed with me there, so mileage may vary. As strange of a tone as it tries to set, I think the care that went into crafting it really makes this game greater than the sum of its parts. Without the little details, I don't think I would have regarded it nearly as highly as I do.
Oh, and of course, thank you so much Under 10 Hours for inviting me here. If you haven't subscribed to this guy, what are you doing?
And thank you, Blue, for helping me with my first collaboration. Everyone should also subscribe to his channel in the description below. He's been absolutely killing it with videos lately, and he's helped unlock some memories of games I played when I was a kid. Go check him out.